All right, today we've got a really cool story about some incredible scientific innovation. We're talking about a new tool that could stop a dangerous, kind of hidden virus from just wrecking horse populations all over the world. It's really a classic tale of science racing against time to fix a huge problem.
And believe me, the stakes here are incredibly high. We're dealing with this super contagious virus that can cause some really devastating neurological damage. So when there's an outbreak, literally every single minute counts. Being able to act fast is, well, it's the difference between getting it under control and a total catastrophe. Okay, so let's get a closer look at the actual enemy in this story. It's a pathogen that's, well, it's pretty well known and definitely feared in the horse world.
So meet equine herpes virus 1, or EHV1 for short. Now, the really sneaky part about this virus is right there at the end, lifelong latent infections. What does that even mean? It means once a horse gets this thing, the virus can just hide out in its body. It goes dormant, sometimes for its entire life, just waiting for a chance to reactivate and spread to other horses. A true hidden threat. And when it does wake up, the results can be just awful. We're talking about everything from respiratory sickness to, tragic abortions in pregnant mares. And then there's this really severe neurological disease called EHM, which can actually lead to paralysis. So you can see it's this multi-headed threat that vets have to take incredibly seriously.
So if this virus is so dangerous, you'd think the obvious solution is to just spot it super quickly, right? Well, that's where things get tricky. That's the real dilemma here. See, to stop this virus from ripping through a stable or a racetrack like wildfire, you have to put biosecurity measures in place, things like quarantine, and you have to do it immediately. But here's the catch. You can't just lock everything down based on a guess. You need a confirmed positive test. And you don't need it tomorrow, you need it now.
And this slide just lays out the problem perfectly. The best test we've had up to now, the one they call the gold standard, qPCR, it's like a big central crime lab. It's super accurate for sure, but you have to send a sample off, wait for these highly trained technicians to run it on their giant expensive machines, and then you have to wait for them to send the results back. That can take hours, or sometimes even days. What vets really need out in the field is more like a detective's portable kit, something they can carry with them that's simple to use and gives them an answer right there in the stable. So, how do you solve a problem like that? Well, faced with this exact challenge, a team of researchers came up with something pretty remarkable. Basically, a lab that you can hold in the palm of your hand.
Here it is. They figured out how to take the power of that big lab PCR technology and adapt it into a new method called insulated isothermal PCR, or iiPCR. And then they built it to run on this little portable device called the POCKIT. This is the hero of our story. And just look at how simple they made this. Step 1, you take a sample from the horse, like a nasal swab, and mix it with a pre-made reagent. 2, you pop that mixture into a special little tube. 3, you place that tube into the POCKIT device. And 4, you just wait. No complicated procedures, no shipping anything anywhere. In less than an hour, you get a clear, easy-to-read yes or no answer. This is the kind of speed that vets have been dreaming about. But of course, a new test is only useful if it's actually reliable, right? You can't just trade accuracy for speed. So the next step for these researchers was crucial. They had to prove that their new little field kit was just as good as that big, fancy, state-of-the-art crime lab. And that's really the million-dollar question, isn't it? Can something this fast, this simple, and this portable really be as reliable as the gold standard? Well, let's take a look at the data they collected. Okay, first up, specificity. Basically, does it find the right bad guy and only the right bad guy? So they tested it against 11 different strains of EHV1, and it caught every single one, 100%. Then they tried to fool it. They threw 10 other common horse viruses at it to see if it would get confused and give a false positive. And nope, it ignored them completely. A perfect score. That's exactly what you want to see. All right, next up is sensitivity. How little of the virus needs to be there for the test to still find it. Get this, just 13 viral copies. I mean, that is an incredibly small amount. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. What this means is the test can catch an infection really, really early on, maybe even before the horse is showing major symptoms or spreading a ton of the virus. And for stopping an outbreak, that is absolutely critical.
So the lab trials, they looked amazing. Fantastic even. But the final boss, the ultimate test, is always the real world. How would the Pocket system do when it went head-to-head with the gold standard lab test, using actual samples taken from sick horses?
Okay, now this is the slide that really matters. These are the results from 104 real clinical samples. Just look at that first column there. The old lab test, the qPCR, found 53 positive samples. And the new field test, the iiPCR, it also found all 53 of them. Look at that 0 in the bottom left. That means it didn't miss a single positive case. That is a perfect match, which is exactly what you need.
And here it is, the big takeaway number. When you crunch all the data from all the samples, both positive and negative, the new rapid test agreed with the fancy lab test over 95% of the time. That is an absolutely outstanding level of agreement. It proves that this little portable tool is more than tough enough and reliable enough for real-world use. So what does all this mean in the real world? It means that the veterinarians out there on the front lines, in the barns, and at the racetracks, they finally have the tool they've been waiting for.
You know, the researchers' own conclusion from the study really says it all. They said it provides a simple, rapid, and robust test that works under field conditions. Simple, fast, and tough. That's the trifecta. And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? This isn't just some cool science experiment. This technology directly translates into faster action on the ground. It means getting infected horses into quarantine sooner, which means stopping outbreaks before they can explode, and ultimately, it means protecting the health and welfare of all horses. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, if we can create this sort of lab in a box for a horse virus, what's next? This kind of technology could completely change the game for how we fight infectious diseases, and not just in horses, but in all kinds of animals, maybe even people. The future of diagnostics might not be in a lab at all. It might be happening right now out in the field.